Hey everyone, how's it going? Jonathan here, coming to you from Portland, Oregon. And today I want to share with you a very special message that I want to share with young people around the world. Anybody who might be in your network that is in high school or university, this message is for you. Because when I was a student studying business at the University of Hawaii, I came to a point in my life after I got hit by a truck. It was a near-death experience. I felt like I had a second chance at life. And I had to start to ask myself, well, what is my purpose in life? And it was at that point that I started to kind of like analyze every component of my life, my relationships, my friendships, my job, and eventually my studies. And I was realizing that there was a lot of research I was doing in school that was not aligned with what I was passionate about, and that's when I started to hack my education. And so over the period of my college career, I started to explore how can I use my school research projects to build my dream while I'm in school. And so I started to ask myself that, and I started to interview my teachers, and I would go to my teachers and I would have conversations with them around, what are the projects that we have coming up this year, and how can I apply those research projects to my vision. But of course the first step is having a vision, and that's one of the biggest challenges that I see facing most students, is that they come to the university or high school and they have no idea what it is that they're doing. They don't really have any sort of direction or vision as to what it is they want to create, so they kind of just flow through life, going through the motions of going to school, going to class, different types of courses to explore different topics. And a lot of times these topics, especially in this modern day, are outdated. Every industry is being disrupted right now by innovation, and which is a good thing. It's evolution. But the education system needs to catch up. And before I was, researching quantum physics and neuroscience, I was actively pursuing the revolutionizing of the education system, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Because the youth are the future leaders of the world. The youth that are alive on this planet today are inheriting all of the challenges that we are experiencing right now. The burning and the degradation of the Amazon rainforest, the pollution of the oceans. These are the problems that they're going to eventually have to solve after our generation is done attempting to solve them. And so we need more than ever the youth to rise up, but we're also facing this great extinction of intellect through the addiction of smartphones and social media and other games, and and so we're up against the evolution of technology, and so we need the students of today to step into positions of leadership, and this is really what it's about. And so thank you, Amber, for tagging your friends. If you know any high school or university students, please share this message, because what I want them to know more than anything is that you don't necessarily have to do the research and the projects that your teachers assign if you have a better idea. And this is what I mean by that. So I would basically go to my teachers and I would say, hey, I noticed that we're doing this research project on a particular topic that has nothing to do with my interests at all. I wouldn't say that, but I would say, however, I am really passionate about this topic of this new organization, a nonprofit that I decided I was going to create. I had this vision of hosting these collaborative music and art events with this organization called the Aloha Music Project, which many of you probably remember. And so I would go to my teachers and ask, is it okay if I focus my research project on my business instead of this other random topic? And 80% of the time teachers would say, yeah, sure, why not? As long as you meet the competencies and the requirements of the course and the curriculum. Good enough. So I started to study curriculums, and that's why I'm a curriculum engineer and expert. My curriculums that I've helped to design have been published in universities, including this book, in high schools, and another sustainability curriculum with Smart Sustainability was published at the Department of Education and the Department of Defense. So by doing this, by actually analyzing my curriculum in different courses, I was able to become a curriculum expert, which wasn't very hard. And so essentially, students, what you can do is you can actually set up meetings with your teachers to talk about how can you align your research projects with your vision, with your dream. And if you don't know what your dream is, if you don't know what your vision is, then that's why I want to reach out to you, because I want to bring together a small group of students this year. Anyone that's interested in either creating a business, creating an organization, or creating some sort of initiative that's going to have a positive impact in the world. And that's one of the requirements, is that it has to have a triple bottom line impact, which is people, planet, and profit. Profit meaning not that it's going to be, I mean, it would be great if you made $1 million. However, it's more about sustainability. We want to create initiatives that are sustainable. We want to sustain you. We want our ideas to be able to sustain us, right? We want our dreams to sustain us financially. We want our dreams to pay for our food, for our travels, for our dream. We want the dream to pay for the dream, right? So I wrote a book. It's called Hack Your Education. I want to give you a download of it for free at educationenergy.org. You can download it there, or you can buy the hard copy to support the cause. And I also want to reach out to any students. If you know any students in high school or university, please tag them in this video. I want to connect with them, and I want to, just really empower young people who are in school now with the most important information that they could possibly have in their student career, in their school career. And it is the information in this book. And through this book, I have given every single framework for any student in any university major, any focus, any program, to have the skills to be able to hack your curriculum, to be able to create your own curriculum. We say hack your education, craft your curriculum. So essentially, you don't actually have to do the homework that your teachers assign, as long as you have the ability to pitch your idea in a way that's compelling. And this is actually one of the most important skills that young entrepreneurs can develop, is to be able to present your ideas in a way that's compelling and intriguing and convincing, in order to be able to sell your idea, because that is what entrepreneurs are doing. Entrepreneurs are selling ideas. They're pitching to investors. And in this case, your investor is your teacher. And you need to convince your teacher to invest in you by letting you modify the topics of your research projects. So imagine, instead of focusing your attention and all of your energy on projects that are not in alignment with what's interesting to you, rather you're spreading yourself thin, right? You're spreading your awareness thin over a number of different topics, and at the end of the day, you've got a bunch of projects, they get graded, and then where do they end up afterwards? They get thrown away, they get thrown into the trash. And so this is all about focusing in on what it is that is most alive, and what is it that's most interesting to you, and how can you focus every single project that you're doing on that topic, so that over a period of 4 years in school, or 8 years, or however many years a student is going to be in school, you're basically building a portfolio that is going to be the foundation for your business, the foundation for your career, for establishing yourself as a thought leader in your field, for building your credibility and really building your authority in whatever market or whatever industry you are in. And this is something that takes time. It's a slow build, but it's something that, while you're in school, you have teachers who care about you getting the work done. And when you get out of school, you don't always have that. I mean, especially if you're your own boss, if you're the boss, well, then you're the one who has to hold yourself accountable. If you get a job and you work at a company, well, then you have a boss to make sure that you get the things done on time. But needless to say, when you empower yourself to become your own boss while you're in school, when you take full ownership of your education by saying, you know what, even though there's 100 students in this room that are all doing the same project, I'm going to go talk to my teacher and ask him if I can do it differently. I'm going to go talk to my teacher and say, hey miss, would it be possible for me to focus the same project on a different topic that's relevant to my dream? And you know what? Most of the time they say yes. And you're going to get a kick out of my book, Hack Your Education. You can download it for free on educationenergy.org. You're going to laugh, because at one point when I realized this, when I had the epiphany that I could do this, I decided that I was going to use every single project, and I was going to hack every single project with every single class from that moment until the time I graduated. And that is the foundation of this book. And I was able, in the end, to use my research projects to not only launch my nonprofit, the Aloha Music Project, but eventually build $1 million recording studio using my school research projects to build the business plan that got funding. And so this is the premise for any student that has any sort of dream. And if you don't know what it is that you want to do, if you have no idea, then that is where I come in. Because ever since I was doing this type of work, mentoring students in university, after that, I just started mentoring adults and business leaders and influencers and CEOs, C-level leaders and entrepreneurs and nonprofit leaders, people in the United Nations, people in all types of different non-governmental organizations. And my job as a futurist is to be able to understand what are the emerging trends that are happening in this world. Where are the markets going? Where are the markets trending toward? And how can we, as thought leaders, position ourselves effectively so that as those emerging market trends start to occur, we can be standing there as luminaries. And that is the premise of the work that I'm doing now with the workshops that I've been doing around the world for the last 4 years. Different topic, but just as passionate, because you know what? The bottom line is that the moment that we take full control and take full ownership over our education, over our mind, over our thoughts, we realize actually that we don't need to do what anyone else has told us to do. We have full permission to be sovereign beings, and we have the capacity to say, from this moment forward, I claim my power. I'm going to create something new. I'm going to begin creating my future. And it all starts in this moment right now. It all starts with a decision. And I want to support any student. I'm so passionate about student leadership because when I was a student in school, I had a lot of big dreams, I had a lot of big ideas, and I didn't have a lot of mentorship. I didn't have a lot of people who said, you know what, you should do this. You know, you should, I like all these ideas, but you should focus on that one. And you know what, that's my job now. My job now is to make sure that any student or any entrepreneur, any leader, any visionary that has a vision, that has a dream, I want to support you in making sure that you make the right move. That is what I study. That is what I put all my attention and my awareness on, so that I can help every person that I come in contact with. Because you know what? We are luminaries. We are leaders. We are the bridge builders to the future, and no one else is going to do it. It's got to be us. We can't rely on the corporations. We can't rely on Coca-Cola to bottle it up for us and solve all of our problems. We've got to bottle it up ourselves, and we've got to come up with new solutions to the problems that we're facing as a global humanity, as the climate shifts, as those Amazon forests burn. We need more than ever people to be fucking ingenious and start thinking and start creating and start planting new seeds of innovation and invention to create rapid resilience on our planet. We need immediate solutions. We need immediate action. And students have a lot of energy, and I've always, my company is called Education Energy because I believe that education energy is a renewable resource that we can harness in order to solve a lot of the world's problems, because the students and the youth have a unique perspective that most people do not have. The students and the youth have a way of seeing the world through new eyes, because you know what? They aren't tainted, they aren't restricted by the 1980s or the 1990s or the early 2000s. They don't have that understanding. They only see the limitlessness of what they're downloading into their mind through this, algorithmic, intelligent technology that is reading our minds and feeding us information based on what it is that we're interested in. And isn't that what we want from our teachers? Isn't that what we want from our teachers? We want to learn more about what it is that we're interested in. So in one way, technology is really supporting us in making better decisions based on what it is that we're interested in. But the young people, the future leaders of our planet, are not restricted by those old paradigms. And so it's so important for us to give them and to support them with the right resources and the right support, the right mentorship, the right guidance, the right empowerment, the right messages. And you know, this book, Hack Your Education, was my brainchild. I put so much time and energy, years went into this book, because I saw such a failing education system that needed so badly support, needed new energy, new vision, and new vitality. And when I went into every single one of my classes and I had that conversation with my teachers and I said, hey, is it possible for me to change my curriculum? Is it possible for me to do things differently? Most of them said yes. And that's when I realized, oh my God, like all of these students are sitting in this room doing this homework assignment because they didn't come up with a better idea, because they didn't ask if they could do things differently. They are all just being what we call sheeple, right? They're all just being pushed through the system. The education system is not there is not effective, it's efficient. And I talk about that in the book, that the education system is efficiently designed to get students through that process, through those grades. It's not designed for effectiveness, right? If it was designed for effectiveness, they would have different classrooms based on students' interests. They would have different classrooms based on students' education level, not age level, right? But we're just kind of pushing students through the system, and they're going with the flow of where the system says they should go. And nobody, not their parents, not their, nobody, the career counselor's job is to keep them on track of the system. The career counselor's job is not to say, well, have you tried questioning your teachers and asking them if you can do things differently? That's not their job. That's my job. That's your job. And when we do this, when we write a proposal, we write our education strategy, and I want to help students, I want to help you write your education strategy. When you create this document and you take it to your teacher and you say, hey teacher, would it be possible, you have office hours, right? Yeah, I do have office hours. Okay, cool. I was wondering if I could meet with you for your office hours. You go in there and you say, hey, I looked at the syllabus this year, first week of school, which is now calling all students. This is the time. This is a very important moment in the school year. You go into that classroom, you go into the office hours, and you sit with your teacher and you say, hey, I have this really big dream. I have this vision, and I want to create an impact in my community. I want to do a beach cleanup. I want to start a sustainability organization. I want to create a student organization. I want to build a business. I want to help old people. I want to help people who are in need. I want to raise awareness about something I'm passionate about. I want to do something, right? And I have this proposal, and you lay it on their table, and you say, I was wondering if it would be possible for me to focus my geography paper or my science paper or my research report or my this on writing something that would add value to this project. Would that be possible? Could I focus this project on my dream? And that teacher will feel into their heart, and they will most likely 80% of the time say yes. And when they say no, when you have the awareness as a young person to take ownership of your education, this is where you become the entrepreneur. This is where you start to step into your power as a young leader, and you say, sir, ma'am, I just want you to know I respect you so much. I respect you so much, and I honor your decision, but I just also want you to know that I'm putting a lot of time and energy and money into my education. I have a lot of dreams, and I really, more than anything, just want to focus on my dream project. I know that this project has the potential to have a positive impact in the world, and really all I'm wondering is, instead of doing this, the same project as everyone else in my classroom, would it be possible for me to, maybe just change the topic, but I'll still meet the requirements and the competencies of the curriculum, right? And you reframe it just a little bit. And I'm going to give you the training on how to do this for all the students who are interested in doing this. And you reframe it for them, and then they feel into their heart again. And then after that point, majority of teachers will say, yeah, sure, why not? Let's give it a shot. And when you do this, students, you are on the front lines of educational reform. This is huge. You are on the front lines of educational reform, because here's the thing. Everyone is looking to these curriculum engineers and experts. Everyone's looking to, the state and these people who are in offices somewhere to reform the education system, right? And they're like, oh, we need more STEM. We need STEM. We need STEAM, right? You got to add A to the STEAM with the art, right? And now everything's going to be okay, right? And then you got these students who are just studying art. But then you got a bunch of artists, but you're not teaching them marketing. And so now you got another generation of starving artists, right? So this is the thing. We don't need to reform the system. The system is designed for efficiency. The system is designed to get as many students through the program as quickly as possible. Students need to reform their approach to their own education. When students take control of their education, that is when they're on the front lines of educational reform. They are taking the system and making it work for them. And I believe that is what we all need to do in different areas of our life. And the moment that we can empower a young person to do that from an early age, we get to them before all the doubt. We get to them before the negative thinking. We get to them before, the society gets to them. And as you know, we've got a lot of challenges facing humanity right now, and more than ever, we just need to really empower our young people. This is the we're coming up on the first week of school, and so that's why I'm making this video. It's my annual call to action to any students out there who are in school, in university or high school, or if you know any students who are in high school or university, I would like to kindly ask you to tag them in this video. I would also appreciate if you could share this video on your website or on your Facebook, and just help me spread the word out, because I really want to make sure that as many students that are out there that are interested in taking control of their future have the right tools and the right resources to do so. So, sending you all my love. I want to end this video with a little poem. And I wrote this poem to open up my TED Talk, when I did a TED Talk in 2011. And it goes like this. Year after year, I witnessed all my fellow students working like slaves, hunched over their computers, crammed into a library, the sound of a million clicks of their keyboards harmonizing like singing crickets. The university is a factory pumping out professionals, yet is a degree all we need to succeed in this world? With the cost of books, supplies, a dorm, and food, we're assigned 48 hours of homework to do. With tuition fees, credits, and emergencies, it all adds up to living the university dream. When I grow up, I want to be a professional college student, attaining multiple degrees, and eventually I'll become so intelligent that I'll discover a way to pay off all my debt. Let's face it, we spend money recklessly to develop professionally. We spend hours cramming information into our minds endlessly. We stress, sweat, stay up all night, producing what I call education energy. You see, in every major study, we're assigned big projects, and in one single semester is where learning reflects. Marketing plans, sociology papers, research galore. There's collaborative group projects, and our teacher is our mentor. With all the work that students exert, we could be changing history. Yet, where all the education energy ends up seems to be a mystery. We aimlessly focus our projects on how the curriculum is designed, with the goal to finish the project, get a grade, and resign. Ultimately, our projects are thrown into the trash to be recycled into a degree when we graduate at last. Semesters breeze by, year after year. The only thought in the student's mind is that the end is near. This energy is a resource that we can no longer waste, because the students are the solution to the challenges we face. I stand before you today with a new paradigm, and I'm here to declare that it's about time. Oh, I love that poem. So fun. Oh my gosh, and here we go. We got all the youth hanging out here in the park. We're hanging out, we're chilling, we're playing. And you know, it's our future, you know, and we just want to make sure that they have all of the support, all of the tools and everything that they need, you know, to be confident, to be resilient, to be capable, to be powerful, to be influential. And we can't rely on all the social media in the world to do that. We can't rely on all the noise, all the fake news, right? So help me spread the word, you guys. Please share this video, tag any students or teachers or people who are in university or high school, and sending you guys my love from here in Oregon. Aloha and happy back to school.